Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name's Rebecca, I'm 44 years old and I used to suffer from multiple sclerosis, but I no longer have any of the symptoms or have any signs of disease activity since I started the carnivore diet a year and a half ago. In today's video, I just wanted to do a brief reflection on my previous video where I shared the results of my most recent MRI scan, the first MRI scan since I started the diet, which revealed that I have no new lesions, no active lesions in my brain, and all I have is old scar tissue, which hasn't yet gone away, but in keeping with my symptoms, there's no new disease activity. So it was just an amazing result. I didn't know what to expect. I was sort of telling myself, look, it doesn't matter what the result is, because at the end of the day, my symptoms have gone away, and my symptoms were what were disabling me. So, you know, I don't need to know what's going on in my brain. But at the same time, it was super important to have something verifiable, to be able to show the carnivore community and to know myself that backed up everything I was saying. And so to have that validation and have that evidence is amazing. It's as much as I could have hoped for. It's still sinking in. It's been a week, but it's still sinking in. And I guess I have lots of thoughts about it. The first thing I want to say is thank you so much for your unbelievable reaction to that video. Like, it's just been so moving to receive so much support and good wishes for that positive result, because this has been a long, lonely fight and I wasn't even believed. And, you know, to have so many people wishing me well is, I don't really have words for it. It's so nice. But the thing is, it's not just about me, and this is where it all becomes that much more meaningful. You know, this isn't just about me and my journey. This is about so many other people out there with chronic illnesses. I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody to come off medication and go carnivore, but I do think it's really important to put the information out there that that's an option, that's a possibility that you may want to decide to do, and to not be made to feel like a victim to your chronic illness, which is what the pharmaceutical industry would have you believe. That's just not been my experience at all. And I think I'm within my rights to share my experience so that other people can take it or leave it. There's so much evidence out there now, and it's only building, that shows that the carnivore diet really does have a positive impact on so many chronic conditions. So at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say I've been cured. I am not in a position to do that, and there's always the chance I'll have a relapse in the future. I don't know, but I am willing to take the risk. And the reason I'm willing to take the risk is because the other option is going on faith in the pharmaceutical industry, and that doesn't make any sense to me, because with MS medication, the deal is it doesn't help you with your daily symptoms. And it also gives you horrible side effects. The strongest type of MS medication can literally result in death. So it's poisonous in many different ways. And I struggled very badly when I was on Copaxone, which was the injectable that I was given to take. It really wrecked my quality of life that year. It was a very distressing time, and after that experience, I never want to go back on MS medication. I've also been offered chemo, which I don't want my hair to fall out. I don't want to experience nausea. I don't experience any symptoms at the moment. I'm living a full life. So why would I compromise that life now? I want to bank these good years. And I accept that I may be in a wheelchair in the future. That's the gamble I'm taking. But at least if I've been in a position to invest in a career and relationships now as a fully functioning, healthy, happy person, then I'll be in a better situation in the future if I'm in a wheelchair. So that's the gamble I'm taking. Being able to live my full life now is what I want, because there's no guarantees about the future anyway. And the thing is, what they ask you to believe, the pharmaceuticals and the medical industry or profession, is that although there's no immediate benefit to you taking these medications, in theory, in the future, it may have slowed the progression of the disease. It doesn't cure it, doesn't stop it. It just may have slowed it. But you don't even know, in your case, if that's been the effect, because you can't compare your case to anybody else's. So it's purely on faith that you're taking these medications. And the only thing you do know is that you're lining the pockets of somebody out there with your incurable disease. nor can they say they understand MS because they don't know what causes it and they don't know how to fix it. A neurologist might have a belief about that, but they can't say 100% for sure what causes it. There's many theories: parasites, lack of vitamin D. There's so many possible causes. Who knows what it is? No one can say 100%. So I feel like in a situation like that, you're within your rights to experiment, and that's what I'm doing. So take it or leave it, but this is the experiment that I'm doing, and the evidence that's come out of it, which isn't proof. But the thing about evidence is, the more it builds, the more cases, the more pieces of evidence that build, that point towards something, that starts to become something that's worth investigating. And that's what's happening with the carnivore diet. So I'm not an isolated case. There are many, many cases out there. Just look at Dave Mack's channel and you will see there's hundreds and hundreds of cases similar to mine. And there's even cases where the scar tissue's gone away. Obviously, I'm going to stick to carnivore, and I wonder whether in the future the old lesions may actually disappear. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't a possibility. So it's all just weighing up possible risks. And yeah, and I would also say that of all the hundreds of comments that I received on my previous video, only one had a touch of skepticism about it. A guy who has MS, and he was very skeptical. Literally the only commenter who was skeptical. The thing is, outside of the carnivore community, I know there'd be a lot more skepticism about whether my choices have actually had the effect that I'm claiming, or whether it's just simply that I'm in remission, or I have benign MS, or whatever it might be. But even with benign MS, you still experience symptoms. And I did this interview with AI, with ChatGPT, in a previous video, and if anybody is skeptical, I would highly encourage watching that video, because although AI is not the definitive answer on everything, it does serve as a guide to the accumulated knowledge that's out there, and also you can do your own research based on AI's answers. So it was just very, very interesting, and I specifically asked, is this placebo? Could this be remission? Could this be benign MS? And in all cases, it seemed to be that if the effect is immediate or pretty much immediate and consistent, it's quite likely to be a result of the changing my diet. So that's what I tend to believe. All I know is nothing changed my situation like carnivore did, because I'd been on a different diet when I was back in the UK and really struggling, and that diet was a healthier diet because it eliminated a lot of junk food and sugar, but it was close to being vegan, and I was not well at all when I was on that diet. I'm not saying it made me unwell, but it didn't help me not be unwell. I was still extremely weak, extremely ill. But carnivore, within weeks of going carnivore, my core strength returned, my memory returned, and my energy returned. And that to me was completely linked. Like, there's no way in my mind that that wasn't linked, and it's been consistent ever since. So it's extremely powerful. So I don't know. I know that I can't tell people what to do. I certainly can't tell people to come off medication, but I do think it's really important to put my case out there among so many others, so that the information is out there, so that people can make their own decisions and not just be asked to remain victims to their chronic illnesses. Yeah, I'm still processing the results of this MRI scan. I didn't know what to expect. Like I said, I was kind of happy either way because of the way I feel inside my body, but to have that validation in the form of undisputable evidence, if not proof, but the more evidence that builds, the more we can investigate and potentially build something that can be considered proof that this diet works, and it's been working for me, and I'm going to stick to it. And I just feel really grateful to be in this position after nearly a decade of really struggling, to now be in a situation where not only am I no longer struggling, but I'm also able to advocate for health. It's just, there's a sense of purpose, there's an excitement, and it's like, it's almost unreal. So thank you again. Thank you so much for watching my videos and for your kind and supportive comments. They mean the world to me. And yeah, let's just keep spreading this information so that people can make their own decisions about their health. Oh, the last thing I wanted to say is that many people often ask about my dad, because I did a previous video where I interviewed my dad about my situation. My dad's a retired doctor, a retired GP, so people were very interested in what he had to say. And I asked him if he wouldn't mind doing an interview about the results of my scan. So that's what my next video is going to be. He's back in the UK, so it will be an online interview, and I will probably record that on Saturday and then probably post that on Sunday. So that's what's coming next. So you'll get to see what my dad has to say about this latest development. Cool. All right, anyway, I've got a lot of stuff to be getting on with today, so I better get on. But yeah, thanks again for your incredible support and love and respect. It really couldn't mean more to me, and I hope you're all doing great, and see you all in the next video. Bye.